Welcome to the Wisconsin Newspaper Association Foundation's celebration of the winners of the 2022 Wisconsin Civics Games Editorial Writing and Cartoon Contest. In 2021, due to COVID, when we were unable to host the games we sponsor, a civics knowledge competition for teams of high school students designed to encourage civic and civil engagement and consideration of public service as a career. We launched the contest to keep the critical connections we'd made with teachers and students across the state who were interested in civics education. The contest invited Wisconsin middle and high school students to submit a letter to the editor, a guest column, or a cartoon focused on the First Amendment and what it meant to them. The results made me feel confident about our future, and I think you will too. We're going to see and hear today from the winners of the contest, as well as Wisconsin elected officials who wish to join us in congratulating them. Each of the winners received an award certificate from the foundation and a cash prize generously funded by the University of Wisconsin system. We thank them for their support. Please visit our website at wisconsincivicsgames.com to learn more about the contest and the 2023 Wisconsin Civics Games, which will be held later this spring, and encourage students in your family and in your community to participate in one or both of these rewarding competitions in the future. Before we hear from our student winners, it's my pleasure to introduce Jay Rothman, president of the UW system.
The University of Wisconsin system is committed to helping students better understand their First Amendment rights and responsibilities. That applies to future college students as well. So that's why we approved a $20,000 annual commitment to the Wisconsin Civics Games, including this editorial writing and cartooning contest. This relatively new effort, led by the Wisconsin Newspaper Association Foundation, has already engaged hundreds of students from across Wisconsin in what it means to exercise citizenship in a democratic republic. My congratulations to this year's winners for a job well done.
My essay focuses on historical examples of the First Amendment in action. I chose to write about authors Harriet Beecher Stowe and Upton Sinclair because of their impact on public opinion and policy. Their accomplishments would have never been possible without a free press, which is one of the freedoms guaranteed by the First Amendment. The framers gave us the amendment to protect individual liberty and serve as a safeguard against corruption and injustice. They knew that allowing citizens to speak freely would spark conflict and cause debate, but they also understood the power of the press and the importance of open discussion. They valued the will of the people more than anything else, so they wrote the Bill of Rights to ensure that future generations could continue to improve their government. The First Amendment has been at the core of every major movement in American history, and its freedoms are still vital in our continued effort to form a more perfect union.
Today I'll be speaking about the paragraph that I sent in for the contest. It's about the First Amendment, the rights that we have from it, and the reasons why it's important. Okay, I'm going to start. The First Amendment allows many freedoms and rights. Some are able to practice our own religion, express ourselves, freedom of speech, and petition the government. On December 15th, 1791, the First Amendment was approved by the Congress and allowed citizens to be free, except the slaves. The slaves fought in wars, hoping that they would be free from forced labor. They weren't free until the 13th Amendment was passed by the Congress in January 31st, 1865. The First Amendment is important because citizens have the right to the rights included in the amendment, so the government can't pass laws against the rights. American citizens have the right to their religion, the freedom of speech, peacefully protest, and to petition the government. Lots of other countries don't have the same rights as we do, and we need to appreciate the amendments and what they protect for us. Thank you.
I wrote about how social media and disinformation affect our freedom of speech. I was first interested in this topic when I found out many people I disagreed with on a wide range of topics believed a different set of facts than I did. The biggest changes in how we discuss social and political ideas have resulted from the internet age. More people have become engaged with the greater world as a result of social media, but polarization as a result of misinformation raises thorny questions. What counts as misinformation versus free speech? Do private companies have an obligation to regulate misinformation? And should the government interfere with these platforms? These questions are increasingly relevant as we move forward through the digital age.
This is my comic, and so it's about a kid who doesn't want to do his math, so he's using his First Amendment right to free speech to not answer a math problem. This comic is a little bit about the connection between the First Amendment and the education system, but mostly is just meant to be funny. And that's my main goal with most of my comics. So yeah, I'm glad that I was a part of this special opportunity, and I never dreamed I would have won.
As I said in my letter, there have been countless reports of Americans feeling discriminated against based on religion, by coworkers, friends, strangers, and people of other faiths, and that I think we can do better. I wondered if in theory the First Amendment was good, but the power of it had been abused and proven to not be effective. I got the inspiration to write this paper from my teacher, and I am truly grateful for this opportunity. I believe that the problem instituted from the First Amendment should have been a problem decades ago, not now. Thank you.
My cartoon depicts teeth being pulled from dentures. My inspiration for this picture came from the way many people are hushed for voicing their own opinions and beliefs. Today, most people are quick to get offended by other people's reasonings and opinions, instead of just listening and understanding to what they're trying to say. When problems with our culture, society, nation, and world become apparent, people try to speak up about it. And despite our First Amendment rights to freedom of speech, the government and even our society doesn't like when we speak up against them and try to get our point across. In today's society, you can't really point out any issues without many people shutting you down and telling you that you can't talk about or discuss societal problems. It's like pulling teeth. So, my cartoon might not change or impact these problems, but it does serve as a cartoon to shed light on those issues. With more and more people receiving the message for change, together we can make a positive impact in our nation. Thank you.
The inspiration for writing this essay came from my American history teacher after learning about the early start to our country and how important the freedom to protest and freely assemble was. I can't wait for my next opportunity to participate in another great event like this, and would like to thank Wisconsin Civics Games for this essay prompt.
The main inspiration and purpose I had for my essay was wanting to spread more awareness to the events that were currently happening in the world that we all live in, and I felt that the Wisconsin Civics Games was a great way to do that because I could also help people take into consideration the relation of these events to the many freedoms that we take for granted and recognize the impact that the First Amendment has on the way that these events are handled in today's society.
So for my political cartoon, the aspect of the First Amendment that I chose to focus on was the right to protest. And I did this by illustrating in my cartoon a bunch of protesters protesting outside of the Capitol in Madison. For those that were participating in the protest, I chose to depict in color, but those that weren't, I depicted in black and white. And this was sort of an intentional choice to illustrate how the First Amendment is so important, and it gives you a voice and a way to push forward your opinions and get them executed in government. And sometimes when you don't take advantage of that, your opinions can get pushed away or faded into the background, and that's what makes the First Amendment so important. And I also illustrated this message by the writing I put on the bottom of my cartoon that says, "A life without the First Amendment isn't much of a life at all." Again, to drive home just how important that amendment is and all the rights that it does give us.
I think that the First Amendment is important because it gives people like me and you the rights to religion and freedom of speech. I am free to go to a Catholic school and be friends with lots of different people. When I get home from school, I am free to listen to any music I want and watch any television shows I want to. When I grow up, I look forward to being able to vote, speak up for what I believe in, worship God, and get to know people that aren't like me. This is all because of the First Amendment. I'm so proud to be an American.
Hello, I'm State Senator Melissa Agard, and I want to extend Congratulations to all of the folks who submitted writing and drawing to the Wisconsin Civic Games. We know that in Wisconsin it is vital that our youth have a voice and that they understand the importance of their participation in our democracy. Our First Amendment and our future is on the line, and you all are vital parts of being able to continue to move our state forward. Congratulations and keep up the amazing work.
The United States is one of the world's largest democracies, which means that the people run the government. It's vital for students to learn how our government works and the importance of engaging in it as informed citizens. A big part of that is listening to all viewpoints and having a free flow of ideas. Free speech is the very foundation of our republic, and this right should be celebrated. Our First Amendment says, quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances." In today's climate, we need more free speech, not less. We also need more civil dialogue and healthy debate. Seeing the engagement of all the students and the enthusiasm of the Wisconsin Civic Games gives me hope. These students have civic pride and understand the importance and responsibility of preserving and defending the benefits of liberty inherited and secured by our own United States Constitution. Congratulations to all the contest winners.
Hey there, Governor Tony Evers here. I want to congratulate the winners of this year's Wisconsin Civics Games editorial writing and cartoon contest. As a former teacher, principal, and superintendent, and state superintendent, I've spent most of my career in our schools. So I know how much our schools and universities have been spaces for free speech and expression. They're places where folks from different backgrounds can meet and engage in civil discussion, see another's point of view, and potentially disagree, but to do so constructively. And I've seen firsthand how it's oftentimes young folks like you all who are more open-minded and willing to engage in these dialogues. From issues around climate change and gun violence to racial equity and LGBTQ issues, you're becoming active, informed, and engaged citizens in our democracy and making sure your voices are heard. My message to you is to keep engaging in this, the sometimes tough conversations that are part of our democracy, and keep advocating for the world you want to live in. You really do make a difference. Congratulations again, and keep up the good work, and take care.